hear me. Good morning, Steve. So y'all didn't hear nothing that I had said. So I am so proud of myself. It took me an hour and a half to get this, but I got it. Gov did not know that I wanted him to come back so we could get the show going this morning. Oh, man, you still can't hear me? Please tell me you can hear me now, Stevie C. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? You hear me? Stevie C said no. Okay, wait. Let me see. Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? For some reason, Facebook is not talking. Now you can. You can hear me now. Okay, cool beans. All right. Yes. There we go. Yes. All right. Okay, wait. Okay, so now we are in here. Yay. 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 Okay. I'm alive in person. I'm here and we good. I'm alive in person and we here and we good. Yes, welcome to the Wake Bacon Coffee Morning Show. And it is Thursday. Mama Q's Love Series. Hi. Good morning, Gap TV Music. Good morning, Steve. Good morning, whomever else is in here watching. So, yesterday, we got a little talks on love. And since it was Women's Wednesday, I started, excuse me. I'm sorry. And I'm not even sleepy. It was Women's Wednesday. And I think I'm going to continue, but I'm going to drop some nuggets today. Because I think we need some more talking. Hello, Daddy. Good morning. Go get you a cup, sir. So I'm in here by myself. I had to get everything set up by myself. Y'all, I'm so proud of me. Y'all can hear me. Y'all can see me. Gov he did have to walk me through a lot of it, but I remembered a lot of it. So I am super proud of me. Thank you. First things first, as Gov always does, the scripture of the day. Scripture of the day comes out of Matthew 6:34. Y'all know I like to just jump in. Gov like to give y'all all this background stuff. So we gonna flow with the way that he got this stuff set up. How about that? Is it Matthew 6:34? It is. I just need to make sure. Yep. Matthew 6:34. Take therefore no thought for the morrow. For the morrow shall take thought of the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. Now let's read that in plain terms. So do not worry or be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will have worries and anxieties of its own. Sufficient for each day is its own trouble. Yeah. How about we just have no anxiousness, no worries about tomorrow, period. Okay. How about we just take each day for what it is? How about that? We're not even going to worry about today because that's in God's hands. And when we stand on the word and the trust in God, we have nothing to be anxious for because He is Jehovah Jireh and we are already provided for. He is our protector. He is our healer. He is our provider. He is everything that we need. Omniscient, omnipresent, everything that we need, all knowing. So He has already provided everything that we need before we've even asked. So therefore you have nothing to be anxious for. Real simple. And when you learn how to rest in His truth and stand on His word, all anxieties just go away. And you rest in His peace. How about that part? How about that part? So we are on a little bit late, but even being a little bit late, we will still keep it moving. Period, point blank. We're going to keep on moving. Don't stop. I can't remember the rest of the song, so I'm going to stop right there. I just remember, keep on moving, don't stop, no. Keep on moving. Ha. Hey, y'all. So I wanted to come in and drop some nuggets from this book again. Becoming the Woman of His Dream by Sharon James. This book, along with my other favorite book, The Power of a Praying Wife by Stormy O. Martian. These two books are wonderful, wonderful reads for women who are wanting to know how to have a successful marriage. A lot of people go into marriage thinking that marriage is just it just works itself out, that it's going to be blissful. But marriage takes work. It takes both people working together. But the thing is this. How do you know what to do if you don't know? Uh-oh. How do you know what to do if you just don't know? People don't take the time to put the work in to see, what do I need to be doing to make this relationship work? How do I make this relationship work? What needs to be done? Marriage does not just work itself out. It don't work that way. You have to work at it. You have to put time into it. You have to focus on it. Make it a priority. Because a marriage is whatever you make it. It's real simple. If it works, it's because you worked it. If it failed, it could be because you failed it or the other person failed it. Honestly. But it takes work. You can't get married and just think that it's going to work itself out. Doesn't work that way. At all. So, I was trying to do some of the stuff that Gov usually do. Oh, wow. I didn't know I was doing all of this. Not at all. Okay. There we go. 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 Okay. Yes. I think I got this, y'all. Think I'm where I want to be. Okay. Why I can't. There we go. All right. Cool beans. So, this is for the married people. And those people who want to be married. So, this is for the married people. Okay, how I do this? And those people who want to be married. Hello? I am good. Okay. So today is Love Series Thursdays with Mama Q. So, with that being said, Mama Q's Love Series. Mama Q's is the place where the heart of God meets my love for people. Mama Q's Love Series. Mama Q's Love Series. It's where God's word meets reality. It brings God's word I have no clue what just happened. That didn't work out like it was supposed to. So let's try this again. Mama Q's Love Series. Mama Q's Love Series is the place where the heart of God meets my love for people. Mama Q's Love Series. Mama Q's Love Series. It's where God's word meets reality. It brings God's word and his freedom. Mama Q's Love Series. God's word is our light. I am to kill the lies of darkness with the truth of the light. God's word is our light. I am to kill the lies of darkness with the truth of the light. All right. There we go. I am not sure what just happened. That did not work out the way that I wanted to be. That did not work out the way that I wanted to be. But, okay. I'm not sure about that. We're going to have to get some more training on this. We're going to have to get some more training on this. So, today, ladies, we're going to learn some things that's going to make our lives a little bit easier with these men. Men have five basic needs: sexual fulfillment, recreational companionship, an attractive spouse, domestic support, and admiration. Why am I hearing myself? I don't think I should be hearing myself. These are the five basic needs for men. And here's one thing that women often do after they get married. We tend to get comfortable. We let ourselves go. A man don't want the supermodel. But he does want the woman. He does love the woman he fell in love with. And he married. You may never be the size you was 10 years ago. You done had some children. Your body is not made up the way it used to be. But still take care of yourself. I don't want the body I had. 10 years ago or 20 years. 10 years ago or 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I had the body of a little girl. 10 years ago, I was not happy with my weight. So I decided to do something about it. But I had to take care of myself. That means I still did my grooming. I still took care of what needed to be taken care of. Because men are visual. And they want something that they can be physically attracted to, as well as spiritually and mentally, and emotionally, and all of that stuff. But the physical helps. Especially when they got to go outside of your four walls, and they see all these other women, and they're like, man, I just wish my wife would just take care of herself. If that means you got to get on how you wash your face, on getting out and exercising, on getting out and exercising. You have to do whatever needs to be done to make yourself feel good. Because when you feel good, you look good. If that means I need to go buy myself some stuff, makes me feel good. When you feel good, you look good. When you feel good, you look good too. I'm just saying. Men are visual. They want to still be physically attracted to the woman that they married. Whether it be a year ago, 5 years ago, 20 years ago, 50 years ago. They still want to be attracted to their wife. So take care of your physical appearance. Just as much as you take care of your mental and emotional appearance. Now the good thing is that all of these things work together. Because if you are taking care of the spiritual, the mental, and the emotional, that means you just have a caring character, which means you're being nurturing. So now you're inside. Adds to the outside beauty. And all of it works together. To make you attractive. Or your spouse or your mate. Your husband. No. Your husband. I'm gonna keep that there. A man wants the woman of his dreams to be attractive. Period. You've got to put in the effort. Don't just let yourself go. He wants the woman that he fell in love with. You may be 20 years older. But he still wants the woman that he fell in love with. According to a USA Today survey, 39% of men say the first thing that they notice are eyes. Uh-oh. Hi, sir. No. Nope. Nope. Okay. Got it. Okay, got it. Try it now. Yep. Lord just told me I was speaking twice. Thank you, baby girl. I'm fixing it now. Okay. Thank you, sir. All right. Thank you. Much better. All right, cool beans. So, USA Today survey, 39% of men say the first thing they notice are eyes. The next highest, 25%, is smile or teeth. Only 14% say they notice the body. Just something to think about. I thought it was me. I came in and out. No, it wasn't you. I didn't realize I had both mics on. Sorry. But thank y'all for telling me. A woman takes a husband thinking the man she has chosen can be changed. A man takes a wife thinking the woman he has chosen will never change. So if we go back to these wedding pictures, have you changed? Are you still keeping yourself up? You may not have the perfect body. You may not have the perfect shape. You're going to change with the times. But are you taking care of yourself? I remember when I got married in my first marriage, and I was listening to a preacher's wife, and she was married, and she was talking about taking care of yourself. And she said it's something as little as having a particular perfume or lotion that you wear only for your husband, or you wear only at night. When you go out in the daytime, you wear something different because that's for the public. Do you have different clothes that you wear when you go out with your husband than when you go out with the family? Or you go out with your girls? And is your wardrobe with your husband better than the wardrobe you wear when you go out with your girls? Do you pay that much attention to your relationship, or are you stewarding your relationship haphazardly? Just something to think about. Because a lot of women want marriages, a lot of women want relationships, and then once you get and you do these things to get it, you do these things during the courtship, you do these things while you're dating, and then you get married, and then you get comfortable, and now you're not paying that much attention to, hey Gigi, you're not paying that much attention to you anymore. We have to be intentional, because the kids come, comfort comes, life happens, and it becomes real easy to forget that you have to be intentional about the relationship. You can't forget about you. You get overwhelmed with all of these things. And it's so easy to forget about you. And usually when you forget about you, you forget about him. So be mindful and take the time to rest. And I'm speaking to myself right now, even though I'm speaking to y'all, because women who have families, are in ministry, if you have a full-time job, it's so easy to get caught up pouring into everybody else. It's so easy to get caught up just pouring and taking care of everybody else that you forget about you. And if you're always pouring into everybody else and you're never being poured back into, what are you pouring once you've ran out? And you cannot continue to take care of everybody else if you ain't got nothing to take care of them with. Just a little side nugget. We all have bad days. We just don't feel like doing our hair. We just don't feel like putting on clothes. I have a couple of little net hats that I put on when I have a bad hair day and I don't feel like it. But I can put some Vaseline on my face, make it look shiny, put some lip gloss on, make my lips pop. Put on some smell good. And I have on a t-shirt and some jeans. But I still have taken care of myself. And I'm presentable. So don't forget about that part, y'all. And ladies, you have to put in the effort to make your husband, to let your husband know you've not forgotten about him. Have date night. Hey, babe, I want to go to such and such on this day and we're going. Sometimes I can be a little off on that, but Gov is pretty good at making sure we don't forget those days. We try and do it at least once a week. If you can't do it once a week, try once every 2 weeks. If you can't once every 2 weeks, try once every 3 weeks. If you can't try once every 3 weeks, do not go longer than a month. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Matter of fact, you can have date night in your house on the floor. But do not forget one another. Don't forget one another. And when you take care of yourself, it makes you happy. You feel good. It makes you easier to get along with. Everybody in the house is happy because you are happy. Mama sets the tone for the atmosphere in the house. Gov hates happy wife, happy life. He hates that saying because, of course, we do have to be happy individually, but Mama sets the tone in the atmosphere. And that's the honest truth. My kids can be having a bad day. My husband can be having a bad day. But if I got a smile on my face, I know how to make them smile. But if I'm having a bad day, everybody's trying to figure out what is wrong with Mama. Mama, you okay? You need something? Mama sets the atmosphere in the house. So take care of you, girl. It's not selfish. And people will tell you it's selfish to take care of you. No, it's not. It's selfish of you not to take care of you. It is selfish of you not to get away for a second to get your mind clear. That's selfish. Because you become no good to nobody. It's healthy to take care of you. So some of y'all need to renew your mind, renew your thinking, learn something different. And I promise you, if you take that time for you, you feel so much better, and you'll be able to come back refreshed, renewed, and able to do something different. Promise. Next thing. Women thrive off of love. Men thrive off of respect. You want a man, and a lot of women get upset because they say, my husband just don't love me. He don't know how to show me love. And it's not necessarily that he doesn't know how to show you love, but are you showing him respect so that his reaction to you is now love? Let me give you some examples. Do you talk down to him? Do you talk badly about him to others? Do you check behind him to make sure he has met your standards in doing what you've asked him to do? So let me go back. If you talk down to him, you make him feel less than. And in making him feel less than, I can promise you he's going to run so far away from you. Because if a man is in his house, the one place that, good morning, Juice. The one place where he wants to feel good is in his own domain. A man wants to feel like he is king in his domain. And if you're talking down to him and you're making him feel less than, he does not want to be there. And 9 times out of 10, if you're talking to him like that, he's talking to you like that. One thing we have to understand is that people respond to us according to how we treat them and respond to them. It's a mutual thing. That's why yesterday I kept harping on prayer. Because prayer changes the heart. And when you talk badly about him to others, especially your family and your close friends, they begin to talk to him the way that you talk about him. You teach people how to treat you, and you teach people how to treat those closest to you. So if you have no respect for your husband, your friends and your family don't either. And be careful, even when you become upset, who you talk to about the situation, because that person will still be holding a grudge, and you have forgiven him, but they have not. These are the little seeds it's not, let me see, maybe that's better, Gina. These are the little seeds that begin to plant anger, frustration, divisiveness within your relationships. These are the little seeds that do that. Good morning, Miss Britt. You're giving the enemy just a little crack in the door when you're talking bad to him, when you're talking about him to other people. And then you too, young lady. And then you're wondering why he's acting like he doesn't love you. Well, are you showing him the respect that he deserves? Are you being nitpicky? Do you check behind him? If you ask him to do something, do you check behind him to see if it meets your standards and your quality? Are you always correcting him? And I owe my husband a public apology because I am so I've got to learn how to be more relaxed. I don't do things in front of people, but sometimes I can be a pain in the butt with correcting not only him, my children. If you don't have kids and you are a perfectionist, you don't need kids and you don't need a husband. It will drive you absolutely insane. If you're a perfectionist, if you're just orderly, if you're organized, they gonna come in and they gonna throw you off your game. Because we have to remember, we're taking two people, two different backgrounds, two different moral values, everything is completely different, and you're bringing them in together, and you see things one way, he sees things another way, and next thing, y'all are always bumping and clashing because the two don't see the same. So I have learned, if I ask for something to get done, if it gets done, thank you. And I'm not going to say if it gets done, I'm going to say when it gets done. Thank you. And I've learned how to let stuff go. And then, because everything is not to my standard, no, I'm not going back behind you, checking behind you to make sure it is. But I'll let stuff go, and then I might say, okay, it's been a month, I got to do a deep clean. Then I'm coming in with bleach. I'm coming in with I'm coming in with all of my deep cleaning. Like, my house will smell like a cleaning facility because I'm coming back behind. But that's just so that at least once a month is completely clean. So when the half stuff gets done, I'm okay with that. And I don't have to say it. I'm good with it. Don't dismiss his wishes. Don't make light of his dreams or his requests. If he comes to you and he's sharing something that he really wants, or he's sharing with you where he wants to go in his business, or he wants to do with finances, y'all got each other, Mama Q. He understands you, and I'm sure he don't take anything you do personal, and assist you as well. And he does. R.A., good morning. The key with relationship is you do have to work together. But when he does something, you can't come in and diminish what he's put his hands to. You can't throw his feelings to the side. You have to give him his due. If you're saying you don't feel loved, he's probably giving you exactly what you give him. And if he's not giving you what you give him, and you're being consistent in what you're doing, along with prayer, things will change. It has to change. But if you've just been lackadaisical in handling your relationship haphazardly, it's going to fall to the wayside. Don't ignore his requests. Don't laugh at his mistakes. And when he does make a mistake, don't jump down his throat. He's human. And don't make it a big fuss. If he made a mistake, baby, that was done wrong. I'm sorry, but if you can do this to correct it, we good. And if you don't have time, I'll fix it. It's all right. Not, you did that wrong and I expected it to be this way and no. No. Because you make mistakes at some point too. Don't make him the butt of your jokes. There's nothing worse than making a man feel belittled. And women, you don't even realize the power and the authority in your voice when it comes to your man. One simple comment can tear, shred, chop up his entire world. With one simple comment. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. Hebrews 4:12. The tongue is as sharp as a double-edged sword, cutting through spirit, soul and spirit, bone and marrow, through to the intentions of the heart. Your tongue will slice a man completely in two. And women are so sharp with their tongue. Not only their man, your children. There are so many people who are completely ripped apart because their mama, their aunts, their girlfriends, their wives have spoken against them for so long that they can't even put their lives back together again. It hurts. It hurts. You ain't got to never physically put your hand on somebody, but your mouth will completely tear them apart. And it is a bunch of women who know that and intentionally will rip you a new hole that ain't supposed to be in your body with their mouth. And will do it intentionally. Don't compare him to other men. Whether it be men of the past, whether it be your pastor. Let me say that again. Whether it be your pastor, whether it be someone at the office, whether it be a man that you see on the street, don't compare your man with no other man. Men do too, Miss Gigi, but today I'm helping the women out. Because we tend to do it a little more than men do. And we tend to do it because we're feeling a certain way about how we're being treated. Now, I'm not going to give excuses because no, we should not be treated any way other than the way that we should be treated or want to be treated. But key with that is you also have to treat others how you want to be treated. And when you're treating him like you want to be treated and he's not treating you the right way, you cannot retaliate. You don't add fire to a flame. That's how wildfires begin and spread. They're called wildfires because they become uncontrolled. Don't complain about your finances or his ability as a provider. You don't complain. You assist in whatever capabilities that you can. And you assist physically, but we go back to prayer. I didn't get to this yesterday, but as the woman, you are the intercessor. And I kind of spoke on it, but I didn't get into it deep. And as the intercessor, you go to God on your behalf and on the behalf of your husband. You are the intercessor. That is your responsibility for your family, for your children, for your husband. Yes, the man is the head, and he is the spiritual head, and he is to teach the wife and the children the word. But as his support, you're in the background. And I don't have to say everything that daunts my head out of my mouth. I don't have to fuss at him. I don't have to nag at him. I don't have to pull at him. Because, see, I got a daddy. Abba. And anything I need to get done, I've learned. All I got to do is go in my quiet place. Just me and my daddy, and we have a conversation. In our conversation, it intrigues my daddy to move. And sometimes he just wants to see if you're going to be consistent. Are you going to keep on coming to me and asking me and standing on what I've told you? And when you're consistent, boom, all of a sudden out of the blue, it just happens. And it don't happen a little bit at a time. It happens suddenly. And that change come in and you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Did that just really happen? Yes, it did. It just blew your mind. He answered your prayer. Because this is who he is. And you didn't have to tear apart your marriage or your relationship or your children to get it done. Don't speak sarcastically or with verbal jabs. The rolling of the eyes and the neck rolling, and you got to let him know how you feel. Y'all, that ain't called for. It's not. And it's actually going to push him further away. You ain't always got to let him know that your idea is better than his. Try speaking in a nice tone. I very rarely raise my voice. If I'm excited, I do get loud. If I'm with my family, I get loud. But other than that, I am most likely right here. You can hear inflections. You can hear the rise in the tone. The rise and the fall. You can hear the excitement. But for the most part, and when I'm angry, I do not yell. You become combative. You become a threat to one another. And when there's a threat posed, then the other person responds in a way that they have to protect themselves. And that means next thing you know, we're both in a shouting battle. And neither one of us is listening. And depending on the person you're dealing with, that can turn into a physical battle because the anger that rises, the rage that rises. And usually if someone is angry and they start yelling and you bring your tone down and you begin to talk real low, it changes them because it makes them pay attention. Wait a minute. You're not yelling. I don't know what that is, Gigi. Let's see. We're both in a shouting battle, and neither one of us is listening. And depending on the person you're dealing with, that can turn it. I don't know what the popping noise is, Gigi. Okay. Allow him to do things in his own way. Value his opinion. Support his decisions. If he asks you for something, give it to him. Say thank you. Be appreciative. Done. Okay, she said better. Be appreciative. Just say thank you for being the man of the house. I appreciate you. Don't take what you have for granted. For some women, it takes them having the bad in order to understand what it's like and to be able to appreciate what a good man is like. I had the bad. And by me having the bad, I know what it's like. Thank you, Gov. Thank you, love. I love you so much. You honor me. You treasure me. You put me first. I say thank you and I honor you. Because when you don't do that, they don't know that you appreciate them. It ain't always got to be about what you spend on them or what you buy for them or what you do for them. Something as simple as, thank you, I see you. I see how much you work to take care of this family. I appreciate you're going and getting it. I appreciate you having dreams. I appreciate you. Allow him to make decisions. Yeah, if y'all make decisions together, a lot of times we make decisions together, big decisions, where we're going, what we're doing with finances, we make those together. Thank you, Gigi. But sometimes he gonna make decisions on his own. And for me, I love it. I've been making all the decisions by myself for so long. He'll ask me a question and I'll be like, baby, whatever you decide, it's good with me. And sometimes I do it so much, he'd be like, can you say something, please? I don't want their responsibility no more. Thank you. Let him be the head. Even sometimes he's going to make decisions that you don't think are quite right. You ain't got to go in and be like, that ain't right. Don't do that. Sometimes I just simply say, babe, maybe we need to pray on that. maybe we shouldn't put money into that. Maybe we need to cut back on this. Can we be a little more diligent in doing that? Because how you address a situation makes a huge difference also. Support his decisions. Don't say, I told you so. Little Miss Know-It-All. You ain't got to prove you know it all. When things don't go right and you told him so, just be there to brace the fall. And if you've been praying on it, the fall is not going to be as hard. But be empathetic. Because at some point you're going to fall too. Because we don't know it all. And tell that man you proud of him. Baby, I'm so proud of you. Look at you. I do that all the time. Look at you. You know what you doing. Give it to him. Lay it on thick. Lay it on thick. Be appreciative. Show him you adore him. A woman needs to appreciate her husband for what he already is, not for what he could become if he lives up to her standards. Your standards are not God's standards for that man. Criticism creates defensiveness. It creates a wall, a block in a relationship, stumbling blocks. It closes communication. You do not want to criticize your man for who he is. You married him. You chose him. You chose him just like he is. You decided to take him like he is. So take him like he is. You knew who he was when you brought him in. Women oftentimes see a man as what he is, and you think that because you marry him, it's going to make things better. It works the very opposite. Newsflash. Whatever you accepted in the beginning, understand that's what it, you have set the stage. So while you're dating, whatever you cannot stand, it's probably going to get worse once you get married. Reality check. Checkmate, boom. Now, if you have someone and you let them know that something bothers you and they continue to do it knowing that it bothers you, that should be a red flag. Because when someone loves you and they know that they're doing something to bother you, usually they're going to try in their best power not to. Gap Teeth said, marriage exposes things. Yes, it does. That's why If you see things before you get married and you accept them, I'm letting you know that it's going to get worse when you get married, because it's more where that came from. And you cannot change him. But what you can do is pray, God, you know that irritates. So if you want me to say something, please lead me, lead my mouth, lead my words. Don't let them be mine. And when you go to have that conversation, then he will be open and receptive to hearing what you say, and he will do something to change it because he cares about your feelings. For those of you who want to be married, just pay attention to these warnings that I'm giving you. Don't marry somebody thinking you're going to change them, because you're not. If you can't accept them for who they are right now, you don't want to marry. I don't know who this is for, but that's for somebody. Admiration energizes and motivates a man. Good, baby girl. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example. You cannot get this man to take the garbage out for nothing. And this is not my house. I'm just giving an example, y'all. You cannot get this man to take the garbage out for nothing, and it irritates you. So one day he takes the garbage out, and you ignore it. You don't pay it no attention. This why he ain't taking the garbage out. So let me throw you a little nugget. When he take the garbage out, ooh, look at my handsome man. You so strong. Thank you, baby, for taking the garbage out. I so appreciate it. Baby, he gonna be running to take the garbage out again in 2 days. Because he's looking for the praise. Not, you didn't take the garbage out again? Dang, why I gotta do it? Why I gotta keep... And then he done took the garbage out for a whole month. So now, one day, he come home, you dressed up, he expecting to sit down because he's used to routine. So you come out, hey babe, I got a surprise for you. Well, what's the surprise? We going out. Where you going? You gonna take him to his favorite place. Why we doing this? Just because I want to say thank you. Thank you for what? I noticed that it was irritating me that you wouldn't take the garbage out, and you've been doing it, and I just want to say thank you. Guess what? He about to start doing a whole lot of stuff. Gigi said, yep, like why I need you if I can't take out trash. But it's more than that. Gap T say Chick-fil-A. But it's more than just I can do everything for myself. And if I do feel like that, I don't want to have to say it. And if you say it, you're going to make him feel some type of way. I'm just saying. Men, okay, so we want men to give us compliments all the time, right? Babe, you look good. You this, you that, you this, you that. But compliment him. Compliment him. Oh, you look good today. Boy, somebody gonna be looking at you other than your wife because you smell good. You know women like men who smell good. Compliment him. You want him to compliment you? Make him feel good about being your man. Because I promise you, somebody on them streets will make him feel good about becoming their man. And no, you're not competing with the women on the street, but I tell you what, if you gave your man the attention that he wants and he needs from his wife, you won't have to worry about them out there. Some of y'all making it easy for the side chick. And yes, I am talking to the woman in the church. You making it hard for yourself and you wondering why that unsaved man is running them streets. Cause you acting. I'm just being honest with you. I'm just saying. So Romans 12:9-18 gives you a good list. It's advice on how to love one another. And here are some keys. Your love must be from the heart. It's got to be sincere. When you are in relationship with someone, you can tell when they love you and when they don't. Because it's not their words, but it's their actions. And when you love someone, it is, Spade doesn't have a wife cue. I'm so mad at you. You know what? I'm done with you, Gigi. What was I saying? I don't even remember what I was saying. I know it was something about love being sincere. Oh, your actions speak louder than words. I think that's where I was going. When you love someone, you will do whatever you can to intentionally make sure that you do not hurt them. If you hurt them, it's going to be unintentionally and it's going to be affecting to you both. Because it's going to hurt you as much as you hurt them. Love is to be sincere. Cling to what is good. Be devoted to one another. And let me say this about that. When you're devoted to one another, understand that not even your family can come in between you. And when your family speak poorly of your other one, you correct them. You are their protection against your family, and they are your protection against theirs. She said, that's what I get. I got choked. You set boundaries around your relationship. And as I said earlier, you teach people how to treat your spouse. And if your spouse cannot depend on you for protection against your family, I promise you, it's going to drive your marriage into the ground really quickly. Excuse me. For most women, their biggest problem is their mother-in-law. And their husbands will not stand up to their mamas. For men, it's your daddy. Your daughters don't want to stand up to their fathers about their husbands. Now let me say this. Daughters, when you have a real dad, sons, when you have a real mom, when they are grounded in the word and they are discerning, listen. Don't take it for granted. Listen to their advice. Now, what I'm not saying is that you have to allow them to be controlling of your life, but pay attention to what advice they're telling you about that man or that woman, because they can see something that you're not privy to. And what I'm going to tell the mama and the daddy, you cannot control that child's life. If they accept what you're saying, then cool. If they don't, you can't beat them over the head and you can't treat that other person wrong. You're in the wrong. You treat them with love and you continue to pray about it. Because that prayer, if that person ain't right for your baby, your prayer hits God's ears. Because you right with God. And I promise you, He'll remove them. But if you go in and you start nagging them and you trying to push them away, you going to push your child right into their arms. But it's not your responsibility to control them. You tell them what you see, you give them advice, and allow them to make the decision. Babies, be discerning of what you're hearing and pay attention to the red flags. That's all I got on it. You honor one another above yourselves. Me and Gov, we try to outdo each other with what we can do for the other. As long as you're putting the other person's needs in front of yours, neither one of you will never lack. Neither of you will ever lack when God is first, and then your spouse, and then you. And what I've learned, as long as I'm putting my spouse first, my spouse is putting me first. So I never go without. He never goes without. Be joyful in hope and never lacking in zeal. Let me stop right there. Gigi, I don't know what that popping is because nothing has changed. Phone is still away. I done unplugged the microphone. I don't know what it is. I'm sorry. If you're not happy in your relationship, it comes out in your actions. And if you're waiting on him or her to make you happy, you'll never be happy. They cannot make you happy. Happiness comes from God and within you. And if you don't know how to make you happy, they'll never know how to make you happy because you don't even know what it takes to make you happy. Have a good day, Gigi. Love you. So you cannot depend on them to make you happy. And when you're happy in your relationship, it shows in everything. Because everything about you says, I want to be with you. Everything about you shows that person you're excited about your marriage. You're excited about your relationship. He says, be patient in affliction and be faithful in prayer. I keep going to prayer. Prayer is going to be your begin all, end all. Because if you're not praying, you're leaving your relationship open to haphazard, and anything can happen. I've left the door wide open for the enemy. And when times get hard, patience. Because that's where the test comes. Let someone's mom or dad die, or sister or brother. God forbid a child dies. Let someone lose a job, and we have to face financial struggles. Affliction. And you've got to go through that thing with that person. You can't turn your back on them. You've got to be there for one another, encouraging one another, lifting up one another. Even when it feels like I can't stand you, it's your fault. You've got to go to God and say, God, take this from me. Show me how to love him or her through this. Help me. I don't even want to look at their face right now, but God, help me. Patience and prayer. Share with God's people who are in need. Practice hospitality. He and I purposely have talked about tithing. Yes, we give to our churches, but when we start seeing God's begins to sow back into us more, when we selflessly begin to sow into others who need. At one point, we were taking our tithes and sowing into people who didn't have. And I tell you, what we reaped from that outweighs anything else. God said, when I was hungry, you didn't feed me. When I was naked, you didn't clothe me. When I was thirsty, you didn't give me drink. When I was homeless, you didn't put a roof over my head. They said, but God, when were you homeless? When were you hungry? He said, when you did not feed the one who was hungry, when you did not clothe the one who was naked, when you didn't take care of those who were hurting and in need, you did the same to me. It's the same thing in your relationships. It says, bless those who persecute you and rejoice with those who rejoice, mourn with those who mourn. Yes, they are your spouse. Excuse me. But the same thing goes for your spouse as well as you and your spouse doing for others. Because sometimes we have a spouse who is selfish. They will hold your blessings back because the two are one. You have to be in agreement with one another. Live in harmony with one another. Do not be proud. Do not be conceited. Do not repay anyone evil for evil. All I'm going to say is, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. When you love your spouse, you do nothing to hurt them on purpose. Be careful to do what is right in the eyes of everybody. If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. Your house should be a sanctuary of peace for both spouses. Your husband should not rather be at a bar than to come home. He should not rather go kick it with the dudes, because if he comes home, he knows what he's coming home to. Rather that be a nagging wife, a nasty house, hollering spoiled brats for children. Your house should be your sanctuary. When you come in your house and close those doors, it should be a place of peace and a place of protection. Because why should I go out of those doors and still come back to the same thing that I'm meeting in the streets? That's not a home. And ladies, you create the home. You make a house a home. Have you ever been in a bachelor's house? When you walk into a man's house, you know whether or not he has a woman over or not. Automatically. Because you can look at the house and be like, yeah, this is a bachelor's house. No signs of a woman here. Usually the house is cold. There's no warmth to it. A woman brings warmth. A woman brings that homey feel, that peace. You should be his peace. And in being his peace, you can't hold grudges. If you say you forgive someone, you have to truly forgive them. You cannot say out of your mouth, I forgive you, and then bring it back up every time he makes you mad. Because then you truly have not forgiven. You cannot say you forgive, but yet still punish him in your own way for what you were supposed to be forgiving him for. Again, I told you, prayer softens your heart. Prayer is a gentle tool of restoration appropriated through the prayers of a wife who longs to do right more than be right. Long to do right more than be right, and give life more than get even. For some of y'all, all you care about is being right. I told you so. You should have did what I told you to do. You was wrong. You was just wrong. And for some men, I feel really bad because not to give them an excuse. But for some men, they go out and do the things that they've done because you've spoken it over them for so long. Your mouth has literally placed them in the position where they chose to fall to their flesh. Because of your mouth. It's not always about being right. Some battles you have to lose just so you can win the war. I lose some battles all day long as I win the war. The word forgiveness in Greek is aphemi. It means to let go from one's power, possession, to let go free, to let escape. It means to take someone off of your hook and place them on God's hook. It means we are letting them go free regardless of the offense. It is an act of grace, giving a gift that is undeserved. But yet God says, my grace is sufficient. He forgives us despite knowing that we do stuff on purpose. He does not give us what we deserve when we deserve death most of the time. And we want him to forgive us, but yet we walk around holding grudges in our heart. Forgiveness is making a commitment to look ahead and leave the past behind. Forgiving is love's toughest work and love's biggest risk. If you twist it into something it was never meant to be, it can make you a doormat or an insufferable manipulator. Forgiveness is the ultimate expression of love. And when you have forgiven someone who has hurt you, you do not punish the next person for what the other person has did. Period. When you have forgiven, you have let it go. And for those of you who say, I forgive, but I will never forget, then you have not forgiven. Sorry to burst your bubble. Because when you forgive, you do not hold on to it, and you do not punish everybody for what has been done to you. That is not forgiveness. Because you're still walking in the fear of the pain and the hurt, and now you deflect that pain and the hurt on other people, whether they deserve it or not. And it's not fair. That is not true forgiveness. And the fact is, when you're walking in unforgiveness, you are holding yourself in a cage. Your heart is caged. And because your heart is caged, you are not able to be loved properly. You will keep the person who God has sent to you to repair you from loving you and being able to help you, because you are afraid that they are going to hurt you. And you cannot love properly because you are afraid to allow your walls to come down so that you can love them. So you're caged. Forgiveness is the ultimate expression of love. Period. And you have to let go. And the thing that most people tell me is, I don't know how. I don't know how to properly forgive. I have been saying that I forgive this person, and I thought that I forgave this person. Well, let me give you another nugget. It goes back to prayer. Because prayer softens the heart, most people, we can all pray for someone. Is that forgiveness on every level? I'm about to explain that right now, Stevie Steve. We can all say we forgive someone. For one, we can say we forgive someone because we know with our mouth and with our head what we're supposed to do. The problem is that our heart doesn't quite match our mouth and our head all the time. So even though we say we're supposed to forgive someone because we know that's what we're supposed to do, yeah, in our heart is where our actions. So now when the next person comes, I'm now punishing you for what the other person did. Yeah, that lets me know in my heart I have not forgiven. So when I go and I pray for this person, we all can pray for our enemies. Yeah, God bless them. God keep them. God love them. That's your prayer. 3-word prayers. While all the time, the only way for that barrier to be broken and to get to all levels of unforgiveness It's when you can literally pray for that person as if you were praying for your children or your husband or your wife or your mom or your dad. When you can pray for that person like the person that's the closest, the nearest and dearest of you, then you have forgiven them. Because you physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually cannot pray for someone you have not forgiven the way that you should. It is not possible. You will not allow you to pray for that person the same way. So the more that you pray for someone that has hurt you, the first day may be God bless them. The second day may be God bless them, I forgive them. The third day may be I forgive them, God bless them, and prosper them and keep them. And every day you're adding to it. Every day you're breaking through a little bit more until you can tarry for their souls like you really want to. Because whether you're angry at them or not, whether they hurt you or not, they are still a soul to God. And if you are a Christian, what should be more important to you is that not a soul should leave this earth and end in hell. Period, point blank. It goes beyond what they've done to you physically. But spiritually, what happens to them? And if you do not want that person to go to heaven, and your prayer is, or you don't have a prayer, and I could care less if this person goes to hell, then you are definitely still in unforgiveness. Period. And honestly, the only thing that I have worked for true forgiveness is prayer. And that comes from personal experience and practice with people who have hurt me to my core. That I can now smile and really feel sorry for them when I see them. But anything that they need, I will give them my last. So if your husband has cheated on you and you've decided to forgive him, you need to make up in your mind that's what you're going to do. Stevie C said, if that's true, then they shouldn't have never done bad to me. An eye for an eye, and I'm just saying. Well, Stevie Steve, God says you have to forgive them if you want him to forgive you. And there are so many people who feel like God understands my heart. They know they deserve it. I don't have to forgive them. I'm letting you know you will send yourself to hell for unforgiveness. That is why God stresses forgiveness all through the Bible. Matthew 7. When Jesus taught the disciples how to pray. Forgive them their trespasses, for they Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. She said, why is that? Send myself to hell for non-forgiveness. Because that is a strict commandment of God. How can you want God to forgive you, but yet you're walking around in unforgiveness yourself? Matthew 5:38 and 39. You have heard that it hath been said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you that you resist not evil. But whosoever shall smite thee on the right cheek, turn him the other also. And if any man will sue thee at the law and take away thy coat, let him have thy cloak also. And whosoever shall compel thee to go a mile, go with him 2 miles. Give to him that asks thee and from him that would borrow of thee, don't turn away. You've heard it been said, love thy neighbor and hate thy enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemy, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you, that you may be the children of your Father which is in heaven. For he makes the sun to rise on evil and on the good, and send rain on the just and on the unjust. For if you love them which love you, what's your reward? Do not even the politicians do the same? And if you salute your brother only, what difference are you than everyone else? Your Father which is in heaven is perfect. He commands us, even when they do wrong, you treat them right. Forgiveness is one of the hardest lessons I've had to learn. But when I learned it, it was the most freeing lesson. Because the people that I've been angry at begin to dictate my actions without even trying, because they had been going on with their lives. They're living their lives. But me, I wouldn't allow myself to be loved like God wanted me to be loved. Therefore, I kept myself in a place of hurt and pain for much longer than I should have stayed there. I blocked my own blessings. I wouldn't allow myself to be who I am, which is I love everybody. It's just in my nature to love people. I see people for the good in them. I'm very optimistic, and I treat people according to who they are until they teach me something different. And if you teach me I can only treat you this way, then I will only treat you this way. It does not change my love for you. It just means I have to set different boundaries for you. I can only give you so much, and then I have to say, hey, because I love you, I have to love me more. So therefore, for me not to become angry at you, for me not to allow you to get into my heart the wrong way, I set this boundary. Because I like being happy. I like living in peace. Yeah, I give you my last. But there are just certain boundaries I'm not going to cross with you. See, when you forgive, you're loving yourself enough to say, I free you to live the life that you were meant to live. You're telling the other person that because you're releasing them, and you're telling yourself that because now I've released me from you. And in me releasing me from you, I have now learned a lesson that I've got. And now I know how to respond to certain things. I know more than what I knew before. And a lot of people don't have boundaries. But boundaries say, I love you and I love me. Forgiveness gives you those freedoms. So I started at 11:30 and it is now 1:30 and I've got to get out of here so I can go to work. I had so much more that I wanted to get through, but we will probably pick this up on Wednesday unless God gives me something different. So on next week, Women's Wednesday, I'll probably give y'all some more. Yesterday and today, I feel like they were needed. We're in a time where God is setting up godly marriages and relationships, and they're needed for his kingdom and his purpose. And I'm going to say this and then we're going to close. We are complete, but we have to be, okay, so let me say, we are to be complete as one individual first, but understanding that we as women, we were taken as the rib out of Adam, which means we also complete him and need him to complete us. With that being said, God created us to be a helper, a helpmeet. If you read all the translations, you'll see the word helper or you'll see the word helpmeet, where God says that it's not good that man should be alone, but he should have a helper or a helpmeet or a companion. And with that word helper or helpmeet, it means to complete one. And the movie Jerry Maguire, he says, you complete me, but it's not in the same way, because God will allow you to go so far as an individual, you can only be so successful. But when you have your mate that completes you, now you open yourself and your mate to a whole nother level that God can now catapult you into. And when you both are being obedient and listening, you will be amazed at how quickly you begin to progress and level up. So, Steve, you asked, why is it that it's not good for me to have two wives? Well, God created you for one. And you will be amazed that when you come in alignment with His Word and she's in alignment with His Word, and you both are working towards the same goal. And I'll have to also teach you on this. When it's your relationship, God will bring you into connection with the person that you're supposed to be with. And that person that you're supposed to be with, you're going to be heading in the same direction, meaning your purposes will be going in the same direction. Because if your purposes are not going in the same direction, and you're in a relationship, I'm trying to make this quick, then your destinies will eventually go separate ways. Which means you weren't supposed to be together in the first place. Because when God brings you together with someone, then your destinies are going in the same direction. He has a purpose for your marriage. There is no marriage that is put together by God that does not have a purpose. Everything God does has a purpose from the beginning, and the end is already written. You're just making it to the ending. So therefore, in your marriage, within it, you have a purpose. And when your purpose and the other person's purpose come together to get to God's purpose, that means we have now completed, we have now come into agreement with God's purpose for our lives. We've gone as far as we could individually in getting His purpose done. So now He brings us together to complete it all together. So now that means we're leveling up. You can't level up with more than one wife, Steve. Because when you have more than one woman, there's going to always be clashes. What in the world is in my eye? There is always going to be clashes, and there's never going to be peace. There's always going to be competition. You're going to love one more than you love the other. You're going to have to do more for one than you love the other. Someone's always going to be on the losing end. So with that being said, I hope y'all learned something. I pray that you guys share this message. I hope that it is edifying to the soul, the spirit, the mind, and the body. In Jesus' name, I love y'all. Have a wonderful weekend. God, I send your angels of protection and peace before each one who has been on the show with me and those who will come in to listen later. Father, I dispatch your angels to be with them. Keep them in the cover and keep them covered in your blood, oh God. I just pray blessings and peace in Jesus' name. But most of all, I pray that any souls that does not know you, has not accepted your Son as their Savior, I pray that they will do so, so that their souls shall be saved from the pits. That's why I come here and I do this, God, that your word would be shared and that a heart will be pricked and turned to you more than anything else. In Jesus' name. If you need more information on the show, look down in the description box. There are links. There are many links that will help you in this walk. Love y'all. Have a great weekend. We will see y'all on Monday. And and we are